Welcome to the Undrafted Uncensored cast of Pod. Hosted by Nick Archuleta. Mosted by Colin Zanker. And last but certainly is least, Joseph Goodwin.
I'm here.
Welcome everyone into
Let's go, Broncos! I always believed in you.
Sure.
Whoa. We're gonna play that card, huh? We're gonna play the I always believed in you card, huh?
I always believed.
Somehow I don't believe you, but I love
yeah. It's
Yeah.
nice you jumped on the bandwagon.
Well, he was on it at first, and then we lost 2 games, so he jumped off and said Bo Nix was a bust, and then now he's back on.
Yeah, welcome back, Colin. I got a pair of orange and blue sunglasses if you want them.
I know you do.
Your mic's a little off.
A little off?
Yeah,
Really?
you're a little quiet.
Okay.
I don't know why. It was
Well,
weird.
either it's on or it's off.
Was it messed up earlier or no? Is that better?
A little bit. You still sound a little quieter than usual, but maybe that's just me.
I don't know.
Is it
Check your
just
volume.
here on the, is it just me Monday or whatever day they do that?
Oh, however, what a Sunday. Well, like, where did this Broncos team come from?
Denver.
We were in the process of the last few minutes of our show. I know, surprising they went over.
Wait, what?
And yeah,
Really?
I know, shocking. And so there I am. I'm standing and I'm listening to them as I'm watching the first drive because I have to. Dude, where did you get that, by the way? I love that thing.
My sister got it for me last Christmas in the game that we were all supposed to go to. That didn't work out.
That's pretty amazing.
Yeah.
Have you seen the helmet hats?
The helmet hats?
Yeah, so New Era has a hat that basically on the sides is the actual like helmet or the logo, and it looks like the helmets.
Okay. I have a warmer hat like that. You guys have seen that.
Yeah. But anyway, so I'm watching this first drive and it's, for what we've been through the last couple of weeks, it's a little hard to really get excited at first when you see Bo Nix just huck it. And I'm like, oh, here we go already. I don't like this. Oh, he caught it. And then it just kept going from there. Like, I'm standing there and I'm looking at this and I'm like, that's called momentum. That's really strange to be doing right now. Like,
We get to have that too?
Opportunities. Wait, the Broncos are allowed to do that? Oh, it was nice to finally like breathe during a game. Colin?
Well, no, I was just gonna say. So, yeah, bandwagon, whatever you want to call it. What I'm excited about is what we talked about the other day, is the fact that Sean Payton hadn't changed anything. And what did we see in this game? We saw Bidet, also known as Tyler Beatty.
Tyler Bidet.
running the damn ball. We saw Jaleel McLaughlin running the ball. You know what else we saw? We saw Marvin Mims and Troy Franklin on the field at the same time. We saw different things happening in this rather than going to the same old players. I don't know what Sutton's final line was or his exact numbers to end the game, but I know it wasn't great, and that didn't matter because you got the young guys involved. So, yeah, I'm excited because I did see a change in what they were doing and how they were scheming everything up. Except for Javonte Williams running up the middle over and over again, which was banging your head against the wall. But then they finally got the other guys involved and played to their strengths, giving them sweeps on the outside. So am I excited? Yeah, I'm excited because I saw a difference in this game plan, and I saw the Broncos play differently when they had these guys out there. Yeah, Lil Jordan Humphrey had a bigger role, which is fine. He's Sean Payton's guy. He knows the system. He knows the scheme. But that's important. I mean, when you're down, Josh Reynolds, I didn't see it all. I'm pretty sure he was he was a scratch from this
2
game.
for 36 yards.
Okay. It didn't make a difference in my mind what I saw from him. But, I guess what I saw, yeah, it excited me to see a change in this team's offense, the way it was run, the way they were playing the game. Did it help? Was it that perfect storm that we kind of talked about, that the Tampa Bay Bucks players were out and hurt? And what else did I say? PS2 shut down Mike Evans.
Yep.
Mike Evans on him had 1 reception for 8 yards. I know he had 2 for like 20 total. By the way, I talked about me taking a bath today.
Yeah.
I did bet the Mike Evans under 45 yards at plus like 300 and hit that one pretty good.
He's PS2 doing his Marshawn Lattimore impression.
It's the easiest. Just take whoever he's guarding and like or set up against and just put the under on it.
I like guarding.
It's pretty easy. Yeah, guarding, following, whatever.
Covering, I think is the term.
Covering up would be it. Yeah.
Fuck it. No,
it's been a long day. I did my first show at 8 a.m. today, so
I like guarding.
I saw that you and
it sounds
universal.
Yeah, me and Michael did the show this morning, and so I did have a weird feeling this morning, and I should have gone with it that the underdogs were going to win today.
Yeah,
I don't know why, and I didn't put the bets on. I'm regretting it now, but I had a weird feeling. I went to Wendy's for breakfast, and I was coming back, and I was like, the underdogs are going to have a good day today, aren't they? I was like, no, that's crazy. It's like it's Cleveland and the Giants, and it's it's all these other games that
Falcons and the Chiefs.
Falcons Chiefs. Well, I think that's still a pretty even matchup. Is it still going on right now? But to go back to the Broncos, it was a great game, a great game plan. They capitalized on the turnovers, which we talked about the other day.
Yep,
a turnover. You didn't need a Travis Hunter forcing a fumble at the last second to win the game, thankfully.
Yeah,
but it was a good all-around game. Bo Nix looked good. So I don't know.
And just so you have it, Sutton. Sorry about that.
No, you're not.
Sutton 7 for 68 yards, 22 is his long. Little Jordan Humphrey 6 for 37, 17 yards. Obviously, Bo didn't have any touchdown passes, but he was 25 for 36 for 216. And 85 passer rating. The passer rating I'm not worried about. That's going to go up at some point. But right now, I'm just more worried about him improving, and we saw a lot of improvement today, I feel like. Not win a Super Bowl improvement, but compared to the last 2 weeks, he's obviously been listening to what he's being told, and he's taking it to heart, and he's trying damn hard to win, Joe.
Yeah, that's what you're supposed to do. You play to win the game. But it's just nice to see any kind of success from this team. And yeah, I get like what you were saying at the very beginning of the game, how it feels you're scared to see them actually try to go for those deep passes. But like, that's one of those where it's scary, but it's the right move. That's what you should be doing, especially early on. You need to be setting up the defense to respect that deep ball so you can open things up. Because they were saying so conservative early on in games, and the whole offense seemed to stagnate. And so getting some of those shots off, even though, early games, they didn't hit on anything like that. But even if they didn't hit on those, that's still the right way to go. And it was nice to see that they were at least trying to get more aggressive and trying to do something different. But then as the game went on, they didn't feel the need to go deep a shit ton, which was fine. All those underneath routes were working, just hitch route after hitch route after hitch route. And if it ain't broke, don't fix it. So that's been really nice to see, especially with the young receiving core. And yeah, Courtland Sutton, he feels like almost like a distraction number one receiver, like not a real number one. Like he's not getting the bulk of the targets, I don't think. I'm pretty sure he did like week 1, but it feels like other teams are giving him more attention. And then so Bo can just, keep throwing it underneath to little Jordan Humphrey, my guy, and keep, picking him apart with little things here and there. We even saw a pass to a tight end, and it was Troutman. I think we saw a couple to Dulcich as well, but Troutman caught a nice first down. I was surprised and a little bit. It's nice to see, but at the same time, the Buccaneers lost so many players. Like Rachaad White technically played, but not really. Yeah. Having Vita Vea out, having Antoine Winfield out. Mike Evans didn't play, I'm pretty sure. I'm kidding.
No, not
No,
really.
you really didn't.
He was on limited snap count. Well, but I think when you said that, Joe, Nick just said Sutton's stat line led the team, right? In receiving, you said 7 for 68.
You had 7 receptions for 68 yards.
It does. I mean, it didn't feel like that. It
Yeah,
didn't feel like
that's crazy.
that at all. I felt like I remember 2 or 3 receptions in the game that really weren't that meaningful, which is really good for this Broncos team, because if you're having to have Sutton make these clutch plays, what have you seen in the past? He's dropped them. And you don't want that to be your number one receiver, but you're right, Joe. He's kind of feels like a distraction, and it really was a great game plan. So, I mean, I'll give props where it was due.
What was I just going to say? Oh, and you had on top of it too. We were complaining about not getting not having a motion man, and everything's a dump off. They had tight ends going in motion. They had their fullback in motion today. I mean, even though Adkins is technically considered a tight end, he's a fullback. We all know he is. They stuck to the run game. Beatty had 9 carries for 70 yards. I mean, Bo had the 1 touchdown, 9 runs for 47. He's a running quarterback, so he's obviously going to have higher running stats than a lot of other quarterbacks that don't. But it is what it is. If they can find a way to make it an even playing field. I mean, Javonte 5 for 12, and McLaughlin was 5 for 7, and McLaughlin had the other touchdown. It's amazing what you can do when you spread the ball around. And the Broncos did what they needed to do. That's beat a team that's weak right now. And yes, in the end, it's just going to be Denver beat Tampa Bay, but they beat a team that gave them an opportunity to win because they were missing some key players. And missing Vela was the biggest part of that team. But you have to take advantage of those opportunities. Those don't come every day. And Tampa Bay right now is trying to own their division. But if you can sneak in there and sneak a dub out and give yourself some confidence now that you're going up to some fancy resort up in Maryland, take advantage of it and run with it and finally have a chance to celebrate a dub.
Well, yeah, I mean, you talked about the other running backs, but Beatty busting out that 43-yard rush was huge. That type of stuff sticks out in this game. When you look against the Bucs, I mean, this is totally opposite of what I thought it was going to be. Broncos winning 26-7. I think I said it was like going to be 32-10 or something, or 9 for the Broncos. I just didn't see this offense changing. So that goes back to what I had started with, is Sean Payton, these guys did something different. And that for the sake of this game was really, really important for me to see as a fan, because I don't want to see the same old Russell Wilson type of offense that we were running last year. I didn't want to see the same old over and over again that we saw the first 2 games that we had seen before. So Sean Payton making some changes was great. And the defense, I'll give them credit too. The defense played damn good.
Yeah.
They got to Baker. They shook Baker. Was it a product of them not being ready or anticipating the Broncos being that tough? Maybe, but it really doesn't matter because you still have to face your opponent, and they did a good job. They definitely did a better job today, in my opinion, than they did against the Pittsburgh Steelers last week. I'm still on that train that I don't think they'd play that good in that game against the Steelers, but today they did. They improved. And the first game of a 2-game road trip where they stay out east, this was a big, big game, and hopefully confidence builder for these guys, and especially a guy like Bo Nix. He had some swagger to him.
Yeah, he did.
And much like we do. And so if you want to continue to see all this swagger, appreciate you liking and subscribing and tuning in, everybody, to us. If you missed my onesie and my face mask cover at the start, you can definitely rewatch this later on.
You can fast forward through it too. If you have to start the show over, it's fine.
I mean, you can just fast forward through it. But my fandom has never wavered. I've always been a fan of this team. I just didn't believe in what was happening. I didn't believe. Still, Knicks, no passing touchdowns. That's a little concerning. Definitely.
How much of that's on him, though, and how much of that's on the play call? especially once they got into the red zone, they really committed to the run.
They did. No, you're right, and that's what I said earlier. The way they called those plays, especially with the sweeps to the outside, that was much better, and I like that. And maybe Sean Payton is a little gun shy because the last two games that Bo Nix has been in the red zone and thrown a pass, or well, not in the red zone and thrown a pass, but he's thrown in 2 consecutive games interceptions in the red zone.
Yeah.
So maybe Sean Payton's getting a little bit smarter about his play calls until Bo Nix understands how short that end zone in that area is and how fast these DBs really are. I was thoroughly impressed with this game, from the game plan to the way it was executed. Really, it was a great all around game. I mean, I'm trying to think of is this the best game the Broncos have played in
3-4 years?
I mean, I'm trying to think of the last one.
I know their biggest margin of victory. This was, I think Vic Lombardi said it was since November of 21 when they beat Dallas.
And that was, I mean, I think we all kind of knew that was a fluke, though.
Hey, a win's a win.
A win is a win. But yeah, that was a Dallas team that didn't care that day.
Yeah.
And I, like I said, not that the Broncos didn't play and that they didn't show up, but this game was really a complete game where I think Tampa Bay, the guys that were there were ready, but they just shut them down on defense, and the offense kind of had their way in every aspect except for the running game with their starters.
Yeah. It was, like you said, it was nice to see them finally have a game plan. It seemed like they actually had a game plan this time. They came in and they said, this is how we're going to beat this team. Anything the defense pulled out was just icing on the cake. Because, I mean, I know you still don't believe in the defense, but I think they're a pretty decent defense. And, I mean, again, you've got 2 more takeaways today. So they're doing something right. I don't know what Vance Joseph's doing right now, but he's doing something right.
2 takeaways.
They had the fumble and the interception.
Oh, yeah. Okay. No, I was.
Did you forget about the interception?
You're right. I did.
Okay.
I was like, which one? Because I remember Brandon Jones grabbing that and then losing all his gas.
Yeah.
And they were +1 because of only +1 because of the Javonte fumble.
Yeah.
But really, I like I said, I'm impressed. I'm impressed at how this game went.
It was fun.
It was. This was a fun win. In comparison to last year's wins where it was all fluky, this was fun.
Yeah.
This, I will say, and to change my tune from last year, this wasn't a fluky type of win in many ways because it wasn't 3 turnovers. It wasn't the defense just holding them. This was the offense coming and playing well. This was the defense playing well. And even special teams. I mean, Marvin Mims had a great return.
Yeah.
Him in the damn spin cycle.
Spins. That's all I kept thinking. It's fun. And like you said, this wasn't a fluky win. They came out and, I mean, I'm sure you heard them at the beginning of the game. What is Denver doing? They won the toss. They're going to receive. That is stupid. Nobody does that anymore. And they marched down the field and put it into the end zone. Like, take the momentum if you're going to get the ball. I mean, this is a team that needs to start moving right away. They got to get that train just going. And once you get out of the station, keep that momentum going, because you look at the last 2 minutes of the last 2 games, and when the Broncos had the ball, how well did Bo Nix work? Because he was under pressure, but he was moving at a pace that he liked, and it worked for him. And so Sean Payton realized that, and he said, it starts with me. And maybe he took that last 2 minutes and was like, okay, what can we do to start the game with instead of ending the game with that? Let's get this 2-minute offense spread out a little bit more so that it can start a game.
Yeah, that'd be great. Although I think this might end up being a symptom of this particular game and this team, because the Buccaneers were so light on defense, missing so many good players. The Jets don't have that problem. So we might not see the same strategy going in because they might not think it'll work as well because they've got, all their stars. They've got their big guy up front, Quinn Williams. They're going to be, at full strength relatively. So we might not, or we may see it again, but it may not work as well. So I think a lot of that was like just metagaming. This is who we're facing, so this is how we can beat them. And then next week we'll probably do something different to beat the next team. But if that's the case, I love it. That sounds great. I really hope that that's kind of the thought process. But yeah, I wouldn't expect that to work that well every time. But man, it felt great. Like, when's the last time we saw the Broncos offense set the tone at all?
Yeah.
Like Peyton Manning pre-2015? Like, fuck.
Well, that and I do have to give. I don't think the run game is going to work either against the Jets, and it didn't really work well today. Like I said, besides the long run by Beatty, and Bo Nix is scrambling, which I think he'll still be able to do against the Jets. The run game will still suffer if it's Javonte Williams. And after the fumble today, I'm not sure how much he'll get a chance. But yeah, they're a better defense. I'm not saying that. You are right, Joe, that they were short some guys, but I still don't see that run game picking up in a big way against the Jets, much like it didn't today. Maybe Beatty can get outside, maybe McLaughlin can get outside. But what I did see work was the way that they did set it up. It is a recipe for success.
They used it to play off of, which is what we've been clamoring for this whole time. I mean, it's not like you had to throw a Hail Mary with 2 seconds left in the rain to win a football game. But, I mean, that's another game that game was not fun. That game was a little stressful because you knew the Buffs could beat Baylor. But for whatever, I mean, they were just trading punches left and right, it felt like. And they would each knock each other into the ropes. And when you got to that last 2 seconds, just like the Miracle in Michigan, it was just like, this isn't going to happen. This can't happen. There's no way this is going to happen. There's no way he caught that. There's no way he caught that. And, I mean, he caught it.
He did. That was. I mean, are we moving on to our Buffs?
Yeah.
Where we're going.
Yeah, that was kind of an easy transition for me.
That was I was texting. I was texting my friend David, and it was fun to be watching that game and the memories of Russell Westbrook and Cordell Stewart, Rashawn Salam, and that team that went on for the championship. Michael, did I say Russell? Oh my God.
Yeah.
Michael Westbrook. Yes. Michael Westbrook. Thank you.
I had to make sure I heard it right for a second.
That squad. Yeah, no, I'm sure I did. I was trying to add on some of these numbers since the Chiefs have officially beat the Falcons. But I will toot my horn real quick. What did I say about that Chiefs Falcons game? What did I tell you about Justin Simmons? What was going to happen?
Oh, dude, I was so happy when he picked that football off. Yeah, we're gonna put a pause on CU for a minute. I watched him all the way, and I saw him just reading Mahomes' eyes. I'm like, "Yep, there it is." And as soon as he stepped in front of that football,
and you know what? I forgot to put an interception down for Simmons today because I think I said I was going to do that yesterday, and I totally forgot. Now I remember that I did forget to do that. It would have been another winning bet, but the Falcons have now lost the Chiefs. It looks like officially, 22-17 on Monday Night Football.
Sunday night.
Falcons played a good game. We will get into it in the victory formation, but Justin Simmons, I mean, he's going to pick off Mahomes.
Oh yeah,
twice a year, once each game, and sometimes more. Most picks of Mahomes out of anyone. So that was fun to watch.
It's so hard to watch him play for Atlanta. It's so hard.
They might actually win something. The Broncos just helped Atlanta out.
Yeah, they did,
beating the Bucks.
Yep, that's the only reason I'm rooting for the Falcons is I want Justin to finally at least taste the postseason. If not, get pretty deep into it.
Yeah, but the Buffs, back to the Buffs game. That was a gritty win. They were down. I was sitting there, and there was no points in the second half really for a while. And I was
No.
like, I was like, oh, this 51.5 is shot in the first half. And I was like, oh, I still have a chance. And I hit it again when it was 61. And that was a dumb mistake too.
Oh.
But they just came through. The defense came through in the second half of that game, and the offense just found a way to get that last play. I mean, they had two chances at it. Basically, they scored 2 Hail Marys.
Yeah.
One got dropped. And then in OT, to have Travis Hunter, your star player, he has to be the Heisman winner. He has to be.
Has to. There's no two ways around it. He's playing both sides of the ball. He's making plays. He knocks the football out of Baylor's hands to try and at least tie, if not go for the win. And I mean, at this point, it's hard to not give it to him.
Joe?
I mean, yeah, that's true. Sorry, I'm potentially in trouble for not sending out all these cuts a lot sooner. Because I tried to do all of the CU and the Broncos stuff at once, and they're like, no, we want only Broncos. This game was over a long time ago. So sorry. I got an exclamation point email from or text from our boss. But yeah, he's amazing. He should be the Heisman Trophy winner. He's nobody else plays both sides of the ball like Travis Hunter does. So yeah, I would give it to him for sure.
That one was a little bit rougher to watch. CSU, thankfully, that was an easier game to settle with and watch them kind of come through with their state unis. I still love those things. I love how beautiful they are. And I mean, to Danny Bailey's credit, he's one of the producers over at Mile High Sports. He sent out a tweet and he thanked Baylor for participating in the whiteout tonight or last night. I was like, "That's well played, sir. Well played."
Well, this is the second team that's happened to. Did you see Penn State had a whiteout, and then who were they playing? Oh crap! Penn State had a whiteout, and their opponent was wearing all white.
Are you serious?
Yeah.
What is the NCAA doing? Like, they should know, like, that week who's wearing what uniforms. I mean, all these teams have so many uniforms anymore anyway. Kind of hard to keep track, but like, who designates what the uniform is?
I think it was Kent State is who they were playing.
Okay.
So yeah, it was funny just that they that it was like, wait, which team is supposed to be the home team here?
I think it'd have been funny if they'd have let them both wear white and just figured out by the helmet color.
Oh, that could have been a lot like the turf at it's not Toledo's blue turf. No, Boise State, where the guys had the blue uniforms. Remember when he laid down on the turf to pick the ball off so they couldn't see him in the secondary?
Yeah, that's beautiful.
Just blend in with everyone else. I'm on offense. Throw it here. Throw it here. I'm wide open, coach. I'm wide open, QB. Coach. I don't think the coach is throwing the ball on the field. I kind of felt like that CU one was going to be, if they had lost that game, I was going to be okay with it for the most part with the way the game was kind of going. And then they started to come back. I was like, oh, they can't lose this one now. they better not lose this with the way that they're playing in this half.
Yeah.
And there was a moment where that switched, and you have to hope that, much like, I mean, that team with Stewart and Westbrook and Salam was very highly touted, obviously, as a possible national championship before the season, and that was by other people, not just the coach, like the CU is currently. But you have to hope that this kind of propels them and gives them some confidence heading into the rest of their Big 12 games. It was an unbelievable win. It really was. It really was.
Street cred, yeah. I mean, to come back like that, it should give you some cred. Where, if you'd have walked all over Baylor, it would have just been like, that's just Prime being Prime. Somebody would have found some way to just knock it down by, that's just Prime being Prime, or, that's just Shadur and Travis Hunter just doing what they're supposed to do. What are the Bucks going to do?
Yeah. Baylor's the whipping boy of whatever, anyways, right? That's probably what would have been the thought or something along those lines. That would have been the talking points for this game.
Yeah. And I mean, to show that, to come back like that too, it shows you how much this team is starting to really grow and come together. I mean, you look at Warren Sapp and how happy he was for his defensive linemen as they were making stops to give that offense a chance. You know, you're behind the 8 ball with the clock at that point. And you have to rely on talent and luck when you're down like that. And, it's a 1-score game, but you have enough time for 1 score.
And they came through. Like I said, they came through. It was.
Did you want them to go for 2?
No. No. I don't like when you're at home. I don't like pressing your luck. If you are on the road, yes, I'd rather get the 1, go get it, and then go to overtime when you're at home. Make the other team win in your house that way. You have the momentum going for you, and that's just. It's not a high probability play. I like the odds more in OT in that case. Like I said, I guess it really depends on how the game is going. If it was not that it wasn't lucky for them to get that touchdown, but they were playing really well, and so it felt like OT was theirs. If it was something like the Hail Mary had a pass interference call on it, and then they got it in with no time left, then I would have been like, go for 2. You guys got lucky to get in this point, but the offensive line was doing a good job in the second half once again.
Yeah. The big boys really stepped it up, and I was talking to my mom and dad about the game earlier today too, and I mean, I'm more of a CSU fan than a CU fan, but I do have my love for the Buffs, and as much as he drives me nuts, and as much as I just want to just smack him in the face once in a while, I got to give Shedeur some credit because that dude stays in there as long as he can before he throws that football. Like, dude's taking hits as he's getting rid of the football, and he's still getting close to, if not right at his target. And that's as he's taking hits. Again, I gotta give that kid props because how many of those college quarterbacks are taking shots like that, going down, releasing the football, and it's ending 20 rows up in the stands instead of, on the 15-yard line.
Well, one, he didn't release the ball in time, but there
was that.
That was just the one. That was funny. He was like, "Oh well, they're calling it back. It's not really going to make much of a difference, anyways."
Yeah.
No, and for him to use all the different wide receivers in this game, not just lock on to Horn or Hunter. That was really good to see. I mean, the running backing in the end zone, all of it was, once again, we saw 2 really good game plans from both of well-executed game plans, I guess. More so from the Broncos, but the second half game plan for the Buffs was very well executed. So we basically saw 3 halves of really great football here in Colorado over the last, 18 hours.
Yeah.
However long it was, it really wasn't that long. Game started at like 6. So,
and on top of that too, it shows you how good CU is at adjusting to something going on in the half too, because that just shows you they for the second week in a row, actually third week in a row, they held their opponent scoreless in the second half. I think, except for the most,
yeah.
But you know what I mean. They shut down their opponents in the second half pretty much because Baylor did score 1 more. Sorry, I got excited.
No, they did. They did. It was, like I said, it was just good football in Colorado. I mean, I don't know if this was part of the weekend of upsets type of thing because, like I said, when we started to talk about the NFL, when you look at some of the teams that won this weekend, it's like, how the hell did they get that victory? I mean, the Texans looked like crap against the Vikings, and it was just, even in college football, you had Western Kentucky beating Toledo. That's why they were on my mind.
Okay.
You had North Carolina getting mollywopped, like giving up 60 points. It was just, it was a weird weekend for football in a lot of ways. But still, it was fun. It was exciting. And I mean, I just kind of wanted to, like, the NFL. I don't know how much of the other games you saw, Nick. I know we want to get to baseball, and we will.
Of college? No, I'm looking at college stuff. I'm looking at the college scores.
Okay.
Because I watched a few here and there, but obviously once the Rams started playing, I focused on the Rams, and then that gave me just enough time to turn it over to the Buffs game. So, I mean, I watched Colorado football all weekend long.
Yeah. I mean, Michigan, USC went down to the wire. That was a great game. Took
James Madison walked all over North Carolina 70-50.
Yeah. And it wasn't even that close.
That just doesn't. Cincinnati beat Houston. I mean, like you said, there's a lot of teams here. West Virginia beat Kansas. Army beat Rice. I mean, there's some good games here that, you know, if you just sat down and turned on one of the channels, you were guaranteed almost a good game probably at that point.
Yeah, no, it really felt like that. And, you know, then going over to today's games, I mean, not that all of them were great, but a lot of those games came down to the wire too, with opportunities for the team that was down to come back and possibly win. Browns had the ball at the end of the game, but they lose to the Giants at home. The Browns are a cluster right now. They finally get Amari Cooper going, and then they lose the game. Anthony Richardson for the Colts is, it might be time to say goodbye to that experiment. They might have won the game, but he looked bad. The Vikings, are the Vikings legit?
I don't know, dude. I was going to ask you the same question because,
I mean, 3-0. Justin Jefferson is playing good. Aaron Jones hasn't lost anything. Did he have 2 touchdowns today? I believe he had 2. Maybe it was just 1. He looked great. It was just the Texans couldn't get anything going against that Vikings defense. And then the Saints almost beat the Eagles. They got a last-second touchdown thanks to Dallas Goedert and Saquon Barkley, big ass busted run.
Yeah.
But Dallas Goedert had a huge day for them, who's been nowhere with AJ Brown out. Didn't see that one coming. I'm pretty sure I chose the Saints to win that game.
Hope.
Well, the Saints lost. I was wrong. You know, Steelers are 3-0. Panthers beat the Raiders. We talked about this too.
The Rams, the Rams beating the 49ers was kind of again telling about how impactful the 49ers players that are on either IR or just out right now are really affecting how that team is, because I'm pretty sure everybody was expecting them to make it back to the Super Bowl, and now they're going to be lucky if they win the West.
Well, and it kind of goes to how healthy you are and the health of these guys. Joe, do you want us to let you go, man?
You know what? That might be a good idea at this point, because there's just a lot, and I'm potentially in trouble. There was a lot going on, but you know what? Go Broncos.
Go Broncos. We'll see you later, Joe.
Have fun.
All right. A lot of times, sorry, all the clicking, guys.
Yeah,
he has stuff going on at the station.
I mean, we all know Colin can't stand when I'm typing.
Yeah, no. Oh, at least it's silent now. You can't hear.
No,
it.
I wasn't actually.
Oh, you were just acting like it.
Yeah, I was acting like it.
He's probably going to start typing now and screwing something up.
Oh God, somehow.
Yeah, I guess I sat here and was watching these games. Like I said, I had a weird feeling about the underdogs today, and I didn't act on it. I don't know, that's the prophet not trusting his instincts. What are you going to do? Sometimes you don't go with your gut. But when you talk about injuries, it goes to show you how lucky you have to be with those things to really make a run and to play good, to continue to play good football, and why it's so important to have all of your guys there. Which is kind of another reason why it was. I mean, you look at the Broncos last year. I mean, offensive line was healthy all year long. They didn't have a ton of injuries. They had some. They did. Yeah. And they had some suspensions. But when you looked at the Broncos last year and they were amongst the healthier of the teams, you're like, what the hell was happening here? Was it Russ? Was it Sean Payton? Because we started the show off saying this, Nick. Or I started off saying this, is that Sean Payton did something different.
Yes.
And when you did something different, look at what happened to this offense and the way that they played. So, yeah, you got to be lucky with the injuries, and the 49ers have not been lucky with that so far up to the point this season. I mean, the other teams that you take a look at that got injured, the Dolphins, obviously no Tua, getting boat raced by the Seahawks 24-3.
Yeah.
That was, oh my goodness. Metcalf had the 70-yard touchdown in that game. Unbelievable. Zach Charbonnet ran all over him. I know that. Thank you, fantasy. But when
18
you
carries for 91 yards and 2 tutties.
Yeah, when you look at how healthy teams are usually going to be the ones there at the end. So to go back to the Broncos, is this Sean Payton turning over a new leaf like I asked for in our last show? Like that I didn't believe he could change his ways. We're gonna have to figure out next Sunday against the Jets if that's the case.
Yeah.
But I liked what I saw, and they came out of it, unscathed. I thought Javonte was kind of hurt in that game at one point, but maybe he was trying to play it up as a reason why he fumbled. I don't know.
Yeah, I don't know. I mean, it's so hard with running backs because they're so narcissistic sometimes that either I'm hurt because I fumbled the football, or nothing hurts, everything's fine. That was there's an array of things it could be, but as long as they're getting on the field and we're having a team out in front of us that we can watch and respect like we could today. Because even like I said, watching that first series, it gave you a different feel right away. Right away, it was just like, this is a different team.
It was.
Where's this team been?
Yeah. And I think that is, like I said, what I saw was the difference in the personnel, the way they were rotating guys, and not that it was like a ton of rotation, but the players that they had on the field. Maybe they got a sense too that the Bucs were taking them lightly, and they got a little chip on their shoulder, which I think is a possibility with some of them. But like I said, I want to be excited about this. I also don't want to get too excited because of what we mentioned earlier. Yeah. All the injuries on the Bucs side, there was a lot going against them. And I needed Chris Godwin to catch one more damn ball too. What the hell happened today? Like, Jesus Christ, unbelievable! It was an almost day. It was so rough.
Those are the worst. The almost days are the worst.
Yeah, 6.5 at plus like 125 or something.
Well, you know what I like though. We sat here yesterday and we're like,
Friday,
yeah. Wow. It's been a week. We sat here Friday, we looked at that CU game and we're like, 51.5, that's stupid. And man, did they prove us wrong. But I'm okay with it. You know what? I'll throw $10 away. I threw $10 away. trying to stick with that under, then and the Buffs win.
Yeah.
Then the Buffs lose, and I'm sitting there going, oh, the score is 25-23. Yay. Here's my $23 or whatever I would have won.
Yeah. It's and I was fine too. I was like, well, I hit the under twice and missed them both times, but I was fine with that because the Buffs ended up coming back and coming out victorious. It's one of those, like, when you look at these performances from these teams, from both of them, the Buffs and the Broncos, they were good performances.
Yes.
You would have liked to have seen a little bit better tackling, of course, for the Buffs in the first half of that game, but they came back and stepped it up. And so I did really like also seeing for the Broncos that when they were pushing the line. The line, they had control of everything there. And that's in comparison to the past few weeks. And I know the Broncos were facing some of the better defensive lines and offensive lines, but on both sides of the ball, they basically controlled that game. 7 sacks and 5 QB hits, I think, was the final for the Broncos.
Yeah.
That was a good sign, even if it was up against a beat up Buccaneers team.
Like I said, you got to take advantage of those opportunities too. If you have a good team coming in and they're a little weak, take advantage of it. You know, there is no mercy in this dojo.
No mercy in this dojo.
Oh man,
Magic Man.
So excited. Yeah, let's get to the magic numbers, I guess, huh? So that's the big thing right now in the MLB is magic numbers are becoming a thing. But first, before we get to the playoff magic numbers, I want to mention another magic number for our Colorado Rockies. That magic number is down to 3.
Mm-hmm.
3 more wins over 7 days. 7 games. They can do it because they're all at home. First 3 are against the Cardinals. Last 3 are against the Dodgers. Dodgers are pretty much, they've almost wrapped up the West. They're still kind of dangling there a little bit. The Padres just won't go away. So they're sitting 3 back right now. They have at least clinched a playoff berth. Milwaukee obviously has clinched the Central. The Cubs eliminated themselves from playoff contention yesterday because they didn't want to win on a Saturday. Phillies have also clinched a playoff berth. They got the Mets hanging around with 5 more games, but again, this is the time of the year where the Mets met. And so without leading the division, they're not going to make the playoffs, I don't think. Houston still has a 5-game lead over the Mariners. The Mariners have only themselves to blame. They had a 10-game lead in July and pissed it all the way to the Astros, which is really sad because that Mariners team has some really good pitching, and
They'll still be in the playoffs. I'm pretty sure.
I don't know. I think they're behind in the wild card too.
No, they're not. They're first in the wild card. No,
they're out. They're on the outside looking in. Baltimore has the first wild card, and then Detroit and Kansas City are tied.
Yeah, they're 2 back, 2 out.
Yep. So the Twins and the Mariners. So the Mariners control their own fate at this point. And
I mean, they still have a pretty decent chance because the Royals in their last 10 games are 2-8.
Well, they have 3 at Houston, and then they go to Oakland to close out the Coliseum.
Yeah, that's going to be tough. I don't know if they'll win those games. That's very true. Yeah, the Mariners might have shot themselves in the foot. You're right. I'm just trying to cheer for my American League pick.
I don't blame you for picking them. I mean, again, it's a really good team. For whatever reason, they just hit a wall in July, and after having to fire their manager and losing a 10-game lead in the West to an Astros team that you just cannot give any lead to, or they'll run with it.
Yeah.
And the Yankees' magic number is
they're in the playoffs. Yankees clinched.
The magic number is 1 for the East.
They've clinched a playoff berth.
Yeah, they have a playoff berth, but we don't do that in the Bronx.
Oh, okay. We don't do that in the Bronx.
Championships.
Didn't your last championship come from a wild card?
I don't care. It came from A-Rod from 2009.
I mean, I'm just telling you, maybe you're better luck with the wild card.
Yeah, I'll take whatever I can get right now because after missing last year, that's no good.
Speaking of wild cards, thanks everyone for tuning in this late and watching us. Make sure to like and subscribe. You wild people following us at our 9:45 Broncos recap.
Yeah, I'm rambling tonight, so thank you, Colin, for putting me back in line because I'm just excited. We finally get to talk a little baseball.
Well,
I meant to do it before, and I got excited.
It's okay. It's okay. The one thing, too, I'm still... Oh man, Judge went deep again. Shohei, I need him to pass Judge.
I don't know if he's going to. I don't think he can.
He was 1 behind him the other day, and now Judge is there. I thought he had a chance with the Rockies to hit a few. But looking at Major League Baseball, and you were just talking about the Astros, man, their pitching figured it out again. I mean, they have 2 of the top 5 in ERA, in Valdez and Blanco. Hader is the leader, is 5th in saves.
I don't trust him still. Like he's a good closer, but I have a hard time trusting those kind of guys.
It's just because he was a Brewer. It doesn't mean.
No, that's not even it.
This doesn't mean you shouldn't trust him, Nick.
No, that's not it at all. I just He wavers so badly. Like when he's bad, and he's off, and you can't rely on him. I mean, ask Milwaukee, ask the Padres.
That Padres team was a mess, though.
Still. He worked himself into trouble a lot in San Diego. I'm just saying.
The Astros are there, and then you look at Detroit. What do we say about Detroit? It takes one guy or what do we say about the playoffs? It really takes one guy.
Mm-hmm.
And Scooble, Tyreek, he is unbelievable. I mean,
he is a fan favorite.
Second in ERA, second in wins, in all of baseball. He is just, man, he's on fire. And going over some of these stat leaders, when you look at Atlanta, man, I do feel bad for Atlanta because if their injuries didn't happen, I mean, when you lose one of your best pitchers in Strider, and then you lose Acuna Jr.,
yeah,
and Chris Sale is going to get the Triple Crown for the Cy Young, I'm pretty sure.
Yeah, I'm sure that dude came out of nowhere. He was pitching nothing like he did in Boston. Bless you. It's been I don't know what he found in Atlanta that wasn't in Boston, but good for him.
Yeah, and there's something in the water for the pitchers down there. Hopefully it's not injuries in his future because what he's doing is pretty unbelievable. Yeah, the fountain of youth. So it has been, a fun season really up to this point to watch this. I mean, I'm kind of sad that none of my teams got to the 100 wins that I needed to, but whatever, it is what it is.
They're saying probably nobody will make it.
Nobody's going to make 100. I mean, these guys got to win out. One only team that has a chance is the Dodgers. And they have to win out.
Yeah.
Which I don't see them doing at some point because they're going to just get their guys a little bit of rest here and there. We know that once they officially clinch and the Padres fall off. But for the season, I mean, think about what we've seen this season. We've seen Ellie De La Cruz stealing bases like crazy, even with his swing that you don't like, Nick. 50-50 from Shohei Ohtani. 53 now, whatever it is.
Yeah.
Unbelievable season. Aaron Judge just not getting injured, him not being injured, and Soto staying healthy, and Giancarlo Stanton staying healthy. I mean, for the most part, we've seen these teams that are up at the top of the standings, be healthy this year. And we talked about this with football. That's such a huge part of this game and all of these games is, your health, and why the Nuggets have struggled because they don't have healthy guys so much. So,
yeah,
for all these sports, really, you can assemble these great teams, but if you don't have health on your side, you ain't winning crap.
Well, unless you're the Tigers, they're winning despite Javier Baez and his 162 batting average.
Yeah, I mean that's one, but you also have the one of the better pitchers there, and you're in a park that allows you to lose a power hitter
and a little bit of weak division too.
A weak division that's going to have 2 of the 3 wild cards.
Maybe.
So weak, Nick. So weak.
Well,
you always think the Central is weak.
It is.
You always call the Central weak just because you hate the Guardians, the former Indians, because you're
Guardians,
a Yankees fan.
I call them the Guardians.
Just because you're a Yankees fan and you guys have some bad blood, you and Taylor Swift can go write a song about the Guardians, and just make it a hit.
No, we'll just beat the Guardians. It's Kansas City that I don't like.
I don't know. Are you so sure about that after last year's playoff experience?
Yankees didn't even make the playoffs, so shut up.
Or your last year's playoff pick'em, maybe is what I should say.
You know what? That's enough for victory, okay? Go get in your victory formation.
This is the victory formation.
All right, boys, here we go. Best play in football. 6 right tight diamond victory on 1. Break.
Okay, 3, 2, 1, it's jam.
The Pick'em segment, proving that Colin Zanker is the most humble man in the history of time. Least. Featuring Nick Archuleta, wishing he was somewhere else. and Joe Goodwin, just kind of winging it.
That's right, everybody. It is the Victory Formation, and we are here. And once again, two of us actually, won all of our picks, which is just two up until this point because we also picked Monday Night Football, the doubleheader, on Friday's show. But we will add one more in, which will be an easy pick. But Joe and I both picked the Mets to beat the Phillies, and guess what? 2-1 tonight on Sunday Night Baseball. Mets, you said Mets are going to Met, Nick, but I'm not so sure they're there. So Joe and I with the plus 135 means we each won 23.50 on that, and we all chose the Chiefs for a clean sweep. I'm the only one who chose Justin Simmons to get an interception, except I didn't really choose it in the betting world, so it doesn't matter because these are real bets, but with fake money on here. So me and Joe both won 39.70. Nick, you still came away with a profit at 617 thanks to the Chiefs' victory, meaning you're still in first place at 657.64. Joe's in second at 602, crossing back over the $600 mark.
Better get serious.
And I am catching up at 585.50.
Oh boy, time to get serious.
Well, there's really only one game on the docket that we are going to pick because since Joe is not here, we're going to make it an easy one. It's Thursday Night Football. This Thursday Night Football is the Dallas Cowboys visiting the recently victorious New York Giants.
Ooh, G-Men.
Nick, are you going to go with the Giants after Dallas has lost two straight? They lost to the Ravens today and couldn't stop their running game. Not David Montgomery. Why am I blanking on the running back for the Giants? Devin Singletary and Malik Neighbors both combined to have really big games against a very stout Cleveland defense, or what we thought. Are you going with the G-Men, or does Dallas bounce back on the road?
Oh, man, dude, I don't know. I feel like Dallas can handle weaker teams, but both teams are 1-2. Dallas is favored by 4.5. I mean, I want to believe the Cowboys are bad, but I can't believe the Cowboys will be bad against the Giants. So I'm going to give Jerry's World one more chance. I'm going to say that America's team will walk out of Thursday night victorious.
I already put Dallas in for Joe, and I put it in for myself too, because I don't think there's any way the Cowboys, after coming off two straight losses, take the Giants lightly, especially in a division game. So I look for the Cowboys to get back on track this week with a victory. So as fun as it would be to choose the Cowboys to lose against the Giants, I'm pretty sure we're sweeping this one, which really does mean that the Giants are going to win. So put your money on the Giants, because our real bets with fake money are usually wrong when we sweep, except for tonight. And they were almost wrong tonight.
Yeah.
The Falcons had it 4th and 1 on the KC's 11-yard line with a chance to win with 50 seconds left. So they almost came back and came out victorious. But me and Joe were completely victorious in the victory formation this week, or this weekend, up until tomorrow night. We'll have to see what happens. You know what? If I had some extra money, I'd feed it to the Ducks, but instead I sent all that money out into space. How we wrap it up.
Thank you, everybody, for tuning in tonight. We appreciate you. A little special Sunday night Broncos recap, Buffs recap, and we got a little baseball in tonight too. I feel a little better now. I feel like I can relax a little bit in bed. For Colin Zanker and the partially there Joe Goodwin, I'm Nick Archuleta. We're just making fun of Joe, by the way, just because we love doing that.
Yes.
Don't forget to tune to e5280sports.com for anything else that you want to catch. Colin was on with Michael Spillane this morning for The Wheelhouse. Check that show out every Sunday. And make sure you like, follow, subscribe, tell your friends, tell your mom's friends. We appreciate you guys. Without you, we couldn't do this. Colin, love you as always, brother.
Love you too, man. It's been fun.
Appreciate you guys, and thank you again for tuning in. Until either Friday or Saturday. We'll see you then.
Nope, doesn't work anymore.
it's a little hard thing like this.